So pretty much anything from this point down that way will be illegal to buy. I'm Bruce Smith. I'm the manager at Surplus Ammo and Arms. The assault weapon ban has passed, and so it is, I believe, waiting for we'll be waiting for the governor's signature in the next day or two. There is no surprise here at all. We kind of knew that this was going to go through. We are running out of almost everything, and so anything that they won't be able to get, they're looking at. A lot of people have been on the fence. You know, oh, I want to get one of these someday. That someday is today. You know, that someday they realize might be going away. So everything pretty much on this wall will be going away. These are all AR parts of an AR that you can build your own. And then we have pretty much all the parts that go down this wall. The main part of our sales is going to be in the AR style, or in a bunch of the weapons that they are banning, as opposed to, let's say, Sportco or Bass Pro or Sportsman's Warehouse. They have a lot more hunting, just strictly hunting firearms than what we carry percentage-wise of their stock. So it's going to affect us a great deal. Not sure exactly to what extent, but it's going to be a significant amount of our inventory is not going to be allowed to be sold. This will put certain businesses out of work. They will close. Trying to transition to a completely different thing that you're selling, that you're not known for, and then competing with the big box companies that have 60,000 square feet of retail space. That this is just a piece of it. You know, that's going to be very difficult. The state used to be one of the best states for gun rights in the country. If this law goes into effect and the judge doesn't stay it or throw it out because of the constitutionality of it, then we will by far be the worst state in this country for firearms rights. We won't even have a close second. Going from one of the best to one of the worst. That all happened in 7 years. So it can those things can change quickly. Anytime there's a one-party state that can pass whatever they want, whatever comes to their mind, they can actually put through. The people that have taken office have sworn, and they've taken actually a pledge to uphold the Constitution of the United States, not the parts that they like and not the parts that they don't like. It's still a part of the Constitution. But what they've decided is that they can change it locally, knowing that they may or may not get that stayed, or it will get tied up in federal court for years, if not forever. And so that is frustrating, because they took an oath to do something that they're not doing, and that's a little irritating. But that is not on their mind. They have an agenda, and that agenda is to get rid of guns, and eventually all guns.
Washington State becomes the 10th state in the union to invoke an assault weapons ban in defiance of the Bruen ruling. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like my channel, like my content, and wish to support my efforts here, you can use the link in the description box. Everything is appreciated. And let's talk about this. Washington State has now become the 10th state to have an assault weapons ban. This bill was signed on April 25th, if I am not mistaken. And Inslee is he's a leftist, period. So there's no shock. Washington State in general is a liberal state. So I'm not surprised here, but this is just another thing that's going to be dragged into court. And at some point, the Supreme Court is going to have to hear one of these cases. And these people may find themselves an egg on their face, even though they don't think so. But I want to give you this video just to give you some context. So let me go ahead and play this.
New at noon, Washington is the 10th state in the country to ban assault weapons. Governor Jay Inslee signed 3 gun control bills this morning. One makes the sale of semi-automatic rifles and high-capacity magazines illegal. That goes into effect today. Another makes it so there's a 10-day waiting period for background checks on all firearms purchases. It also extends safety training requirements to all firearms sales. That will activate at the start of next year. The third law makes gun manufacturers liable and allows the state district attorney to investigate if gun buying rules are violated. That will take effect later this year.
Okay, you heard that and you saw that. Now, once again, you hear the same talking points. You can go through all of these. You know, it doesn't matter. New York, Connecticut, Washington, California. You go through every single one of these states and you listen to these people talk. It's like they have like an email memo was sent out saying, this is the talking points that you're going to use. The epidemic of gun violence, gun violence. You know, we don't give a damn about you if you're killed any other way, but gun violence, we got to act. It's unbelievable. And in this arrogance of this governor, yeah, and I'd say arrogance, to say no one needs an AR-15. Well, I think that if you go back to the riots in California after, you know, oh gosh, you remember the riots in California over the motorists that got beat? I'm like, his name escapes me. That's really bad. His name escapes me. But you remember that. You remember that riot. It was national news. You watched all those Korean store owners on top of the roofs. What did they have? You know, roof of their businesses, keeping, you know, security on their businesses. What kind of weapons did they have? That's nonsense. No one needs an AR-15. Well, I'm sorry there, Governor. It's not up to you to tell me what I have, need, or I should be able to own, because the Constitution does not give you the right to dictate to me as an individual with freedom what I can have and what I can't have. Under this idiotic, this ideal of gun safety and gun violence, because gun violence is going to continue in this state. And when it continues, they're going to continue to keep passing more gun control. Oh, we need to do a little bit more. More violence happens. We need to do a little bit more. This is the slow roll. But I'm not shocked coming out of Washington. It's a liberal haven, pretty much your major cities. It's pretty much like every other state, like Connecticut. The major cities run the state, just like New York. The major cities run the state. And that's really sad because the major cities are all idiotically liberal. And I mean the modern day definition of a liberal, not the classic definition of a liberal. They're very different. But let me come over to here. This is Fox News. Washington governor signs big gun control package, including assault weapons ban. Quote, no one needs an AR-15. Many semi-automatic rifles now illegal to buy in Washington state under one of 3 new gun control laws, which flies in the face of Heller DC 2. Not the first one, the second one. But the mood at the Washington state capitol was jubilant as they accomplished nothing. Tuesday, as Governor Jay Inslee signed a trio of gun control bills, one which immediately bans the manufacture, purchase, or importation of so-called assault weapons. Party safely tonight, the governor told supporters after signing the bill. And what a douchebag. Oh boy, yeah, I don't use too much, you know, strong language, but what a douchebag statement to make. Party safely tonight. You think in these inner cities within the state, you think these people are safer because you signed this piece of crap legislation? Boy, you better wake the hell up. I tell you, it's still going to continue. The violence is still going to continue. So he's done nothing. He's an idiot. Inslee and Attorney General Bob Ferguson, both Democrats, what a shock, pushed for gun control package. With the governor's signature, Washington becomes the 10th state to adopt an assault weapons ban. Quote, no one needs an AR-15 to protect your family, except his, because I guarantee you, if something was to go down, he'd have, if necessary, AR-15s out there protecting him and his household. So he's full of crap. Inslee said, well, surrounded by family members of shooting victims. I wonder if you got members of people who were struck in vehicular homicides. I wonder if you got people who were killed by fentanyl. No. Because it's all about gun violence, because this is not about preventing anybody's death. It's truly just about gun control. But you only need it to kill other families. You know, I'm going to say this. You know, much like money, guns are neutral. Guns are neither designed for good or bad. It's the intent of the user, just like money. Money is neutral. Either it's used for good or it's used for bad. But it doesn't come back to blaming the implement that's going to make things better. You know, it's just another asinine talking point by an idiot. Earlier this session, lawmakers passed a bill that mandates safety training and requires a 10-day waiting period to buy a gun, as well as a bill that requires gun makers and dealers to take reasonable steps, whatever that may mean. That's pretty aloof language, to keep their products out of the hands of dangerous individuals. What does that mean? They don't tell you. So it could be anything that they make up as they go along. The bill that requires safety training and a waiting period takes effect January 1st, 2024. Go get your permits and guns now. We leave the country. Here it is. It's like a dick measuring contest between New York, Connecticut, and Washington and other states. Who can be the most gun control? Who can pass the most gun control? Look at us. We're number one in the country, and violence continues to escalate. But we're number one in gun control. We lead the country in so many ways, and we are leading on this, Inslee said. I'm not sure any state has ever taken 3 steps on one day. Inslee added that while he and supporters celebrate the bills, there remains more to do in the fight against gun violence. We know we need to continue his efforts on a national basis, he said. The road to the assault weapons ban has been long, Ferguson said. He first pushed for it 7 years after the deadly shooting at Mekitelu house party. The lawsuit challenging the assault weapons ban was announced almost simultaneously with Tuesday's bill signing. The Second Amendment Foundation filed a complaint in U.S. District Court for the Western District of Washington, accusing lawmakers of violating the Second Amendment, which they are, with an outright ban on semi-automatic rifles. It's in defiance of Hell of D.C. too. Quote, the state has put politics ahead of constitutional rights and is penalizing law-abiding citizens, while this legislation does nothing to arrest and prosecute criminals, because they never make laws that say we're going to arrest and prosecute you for doing X, Y, and Z. Because it's not about that. It's about gun control. It's about gun control. It's gun control. Period. Who misuse firearms in defiance of all existing gun control laws, SAF founder Alan M. Gottlieb said in a press release, it is absurd. The NRA has also signaled opposition to at least 2 of the bills and said the organization already has lawsuits working their way through the courts against similar bans in California, Delaware, and Illinois. Ferguson said his office is prepared to defend the bills in court because they're using taxpayers' money to do it, so they don't care. It's a bottomless pit as far as they're concerned. That's how it works. They said we're going to defend this because we're going to use the taxpayers' money to do it. Even if we may lose at the end, there's no skin off our teeth. We didn't spend our money to do it. We spent your money to do it. Arrogance. Quote, we're a nation of laws and they have the right to challenge that, he said. Our record so far is pretty good against the NRA and against the Second Amendment Foundation. We are undefeated and we plan to keep that record intact. Okay. So there it is. Another state takes the plunge into banning firearms based on function. Not the person pulling the trigger. They're not going to get, if they're really serious about violence in general, forget about gun violence, just violence in general, they would have laws and they would have prosecutions and arrests and everything else. And you would take these criminals and stop using equity on them and start putting them away. Start cleaning up the streets of these violent people. All of a sudden, you will see the violence in general, including gun violence, go downhill. But that is too much common sense for these people because it's all about the gun and not about the person behind it. But you can expect this. There's going to be more of it, even despite the fact that the Bruen decision, like I said, the Bruen decision has a lot of these people panicking and they're starting to just push all kinds of stuff through in a hurry to get ahead of the lawsuits that are already going through the courts in defiance of, like you said, Illinois' assault weapons ban, Delaware, California, Connecticut. All these lawsuits are going through. So they're trying to get as much gun control they can in place because if it gets to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court says you can't ban a weapon based on function, it's a violation of the Constitution. They're going to have backup gun control to do so anyway. So there it is. But unfortunately, it's a long road, and we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out because it's going to take years for this to go through, to these lawsuits to get to where we're going to have a definitive answer on yes or no. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.